Okay, so we might have a few other people trickle in here as we get started. And I see Matt and May and Candace are all here. So we're going to get started. My name is Liz Miller. I'm a program manager at ArtWorks. I have had the pleasure of working with Matt and his team these past few weeks on the fabrication of their light-based sculptures that are going to go along the walking trail. Many of you probably know my colleague, Lene Garten, who has probably been interfacing with more of you on a more regular basis. She is giving a safety orientation for one of our other teams that's starting today. So she sadly cannot join us, but she sends her hello. I am really going to let Matt and the apprentices kind of speak for the bulk of this presentation. In a regular season, we would all have the pleasure of probably joining them in a studio for this presentation, and they would have been working together in real life these past few weeks, but they've really adapted and evolved with the situation of COVID, and they've been working completely remotely. So they've not had any time physically together in a studio. So that's definitely different for this presentation, but also how this project has happened. So we're gonna run this presentation kind of as a question and answer. I have a few questions that I prepared for the apprentices. Matt's gonna speak about the project as well. There's April. But yeah, we're just gonna have a casual discussion and kind of show off what Candace and May and Matt have been working on. So I'm gonna let Matt introduce himself, and then we will have Candace and May join in. So Matt.
Great, thanks Liz. My honor, yeah. Some of you, I've met some of you before. We had our meeting to discuss the project at the actual CRC at the Hirsch. But for those of you who are new to the seeing the project, I'm going to run through it really quickly, just to help you understand what the scope of work was for the apprentices and I. So let's see. Can you see that screen? Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to skip that page, come back to it. These the project, it really are these solar lights that are going to be installed in along the walking and biking trail in Avondale at the Hirsch Rec Center. They are kind of a construction of they're very large-scale flowers, 2 petals, and a lens, and then a solar light will fit into the box in the back. Moving here, so you can see here in a box behind there will be a solar light that looks like this installed, and they're going to be in at 3 different heights, tallest being 10 foot, shortest being 6 foot. And then these are the designs that we ended up with. The council made the request and the recommendation to be inspired by traditional kente cloth designs, and those design elements were brought in, and these designs were decided before I ever worked with the apprentices. So the real project with the apprentices is what were we going to put inside of these light lenses, the part of the flower that's going to glow, that's going to shine. So with that being said, I would like to have the apprentices introduce themselves. Where I can't see people. Okay, here we go. So May and Candace, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, just say a little bit about you and if you've ever worked on an ArtWorks project before, and anything you'd like.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is May Lee. I'm 16 years old. I live in Dayton, and I go to school at Chambon Julian, and I've never worked on an ArtWorks project before this.
My name is Candace Christ. This is my 3rd year of working with ArtWorks. I've worked on parachute cloth and on the rec center wall. And I live in Avondale. I go to school at Woodward. And that's all.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you, May and Candace and Matt.
Liz, you're muted.
Am I still muted?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Candace and May, for introducing yourselves. You might have heard May mention that she lives in Dayton, and that is a one of the perks of this style of working is that we have been able to work with youth that don't live directly in Cincinnati, but you also heard Candace say that she's worked on several projects in Avondale with us, so we have a great balance, someone who's new and someone who's experienced. So May and Candace, can you speak about how it's been working on this project these past few weeks? Can you tell us about what you've been doing and what it's been like working remotely?
Working remotely and what this whole thing has been like. It's been like the experience has been really, I don't know, it's been really fun. And it's helped me grow in my art skills and helped me expand them a little bit. So I appreciate that. And working from home is definitely a benefit. Because I can just work from my home in Dayton and not my home in Avondale. But it's been very convenient. So, yeah.
Awesome. Candace, what about you?
Well, this has been my first experience about working at home because usually I worked in quite a few places around Avondale, and so it does take some time getting used to working at home and stuff. But what I love about doing this project is that I get to share my art skills with someone new that hasn't worked with ArtWorks at all, and I'm very excited to work with her more for the rest of this week.
That's great. Thank you. Matt, how has it been for you? Matt has led ArtWorks projects in the past, and Matt is a professional working artist who does everything from public sculpture to murals. So Matt, what has this experience been like for you working from home and leading a team?
It's been, it's had its challenges. It's something that I am very grateful for the opportunity. It's actually inspired me to connect with some of my other art professional friends around the country, realizing that collaboration doesn't necessarily have to be in proximity. And it's given me a whole new way to be inspired. And it's been great. It's been absolutely a joy working with May and Candace.
Awesome.
I wish they could have had their picked up a brush or a marker and in person and I could have transferred some more of these skill sets. But I think what was really important to me about this project was that the soul of the project needed to come from more youthful minds.
Well, with that being said, I have had the opportunity to see some of the illustrations that May and Candace and Matt have been working on for the lenses of the sunflowers in these past few weeks. And I'm hoping that Matt can share some of those and May and Candace can talk about what inspired them and why they chose to illustrate what they did illustrate. So Matt, you wanna take it from there?
Yeah, I think what might work well is to show you all of the designs and then have the apprentices maybe kind of pick some of the things that they worked on that they liked to talk about. So let's everybody see this here.
You can see your flower designs, yeah.
Okay, so this is where these are the finals. This is where we ended up with the designs that are have been transferred to lenses now, and I'll do a quick pass through so you get a chance to like really kind of see them. May, would you like to talk a little bit about the ones in this top row?
Oh, I can't see them.
Oh, you can't. Let's see. Let me think. Which? Well, let's actually have you pick one out. So, which one? You wanted to talk about the comfort one, right?
Yeah.
You think you would be willing to share a little bit about what that one means to you and why that one's important?
Well, okay. So I like telling stories in my drawings. So the comfort one was kind of the one that, like, the one that touched home for me, because comfort is something I wish I had a lot when I was younger, because I had issues in school and with like personal stuff. So I just kind of like channeled that when I drew that one. So that's why it relates to me the most.
And Candace, I remember this one in particular was an idea that you had that we all liked. Would you like to maybe describe that?
Which idea?
The hands in the clay and the earth.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. So that idea was because I think of people as clay, because we all have, in some point in time, we all have shapen and build ourselves up to the people who we are now. So I was for saying that you are a piece of clay once you start when you're born, you're like a blob of clay. And once you get older, it shapens and it shapes you into who you are. Until now where you're still shaping yourself, because even though you're still growing, there's no way that you'll stop growing. So the clay just keeps going up and up, and it keeps shaping your future to where you want to go and who you want to be. That's what I thought about the clay.
I love that, and I'd like to share too that. So part of the way that we worked it is being in separate places. It's difficult to collaborate, but in this drawing, May drew the hands.
Matt, I'm going to interrupt you really quick. We see on your screen, we see your digital renderings of your petals, but we don't see the illustration.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. So
there we go.
See that now?
Yep.
Okay. So this, sorry about that. This is what Candace was just talking about. So in this drawing, May drew the hands, and basically would take a photo of it and send it to me, and Candace drew the earth, drew the planet that's being kind of formed, and sent that to me. And then my role was then to use my digital design tools to make sure that the lines are thick enough for the lens, to tie both of the drawings together. So you haven't seen any of these yet because I wasn't sharing, right? Okay.
Right.
So this is the one that May was talking about with comfort. And I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole. May, could you talk a little bit about this top row, but especially this one up here? This one is my personal favorite. It was one of the, I think it was probably because it was one of the first ones that we did.
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I didn't think it would come out I didn't think it would look that great because he had challenged me to draw like hands, like from the inspirational photo that he sent me. He told me, like, challenged me to try to draw the hands how they were, and I didn't think they would come out that well, but I just worked hard and it turned out pretty well. So
What's the, do you remember the meaning behind this one?
yes, growing. I think it was growing or planting.
I think this one might have been planting.
Planting, probably. But yeah, I think the meaning behind the planting one was that like community, because I always kept talking about how when I think of like Avondale, it's like it's like community, and I asked my parents that as well. Like Avondale is just like one big community, so when I think of community, I think of gardening or like flowers or planting, because there's a lot of community gardens in Avondale and all around Cincinnati. So I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. And then, I should mention that these are going to be installed in groups of 3. So this top row is going to be installed together. This middle row is going to be installed together, and this bottom row is going to be installed together.
And for those of you who just recently joined us, who might have missed it in the beginning, the illustrations you see here will go in the center of each flower as the lens, and then the light behind it will glow. So you'll really see these illustrations pop out at night among the super colorful petals of each flower. So it'll kind of have a contrasting element there.
And Liz, we can, I am in the studio, so we can have a live demonstration of what it might look like.
Let's do it. And then let's leave a couple minutes for some questions from our guests.
Okay, hold on just a second.
While Matt's doing that, does anyone have a question that they want to ask right now while we wait for him to get that set up?
Mine's not really a question. I just want to compliment the youth. Their messages are so powerful and they're so spot on, and I just love this whole project. I think right now we need a little bit of hope in the world and light, and this certainly brings it, and I'm just so proud. And Candy, you know I love you so much, and everything you do. And Mei Lee, I can't wait to meet you. Hopefully one day face to face soon. But
Thank you. You too.
And really proud with what our youth have brought to this project. And thank you, Matt, so much for that inclusion and letting their voices be heard.
Okay, hold on.
I just want to say, wow. I mean, Candace, her illustration of her story was like so point on. It's kind of like when me and Candace first met, you know, and she's such a beautiful person. I knew it was just in her. She has a beautiful soul. For her to just illustrate that story with great passion, both ladies, I give both of you just snaps, because those were awesome. Especially you, Matt. Your vision is all coming together. I see it now.
Great, so Matt's working on 2 screens here, if you can see both screens. So one, you can see the light test down here.
Liz, I apologize, guys, for the background. I'm at base today, so if you can't hear me, but I do want to say I'm so excited that we were able to hear the stories and how this was all created. I can't wait to get on that walking trail to be able to see these and to have the understanding of how and why this was created. I think this should not just be shared amongst us, but it should be shared somewhere else. And I don't know where we put this information, but it makes it so much more inspiring if we can add the why behind why this was created and share this with the community, not just us. So when people are using this trail, they will know the spirit of these young people and why this was created. So I'm hoping that somewhere what we just heard will be published for our whole community to hear.
If I might say a follow-up on that, please. My name is Daniel. I'm the Senior Director of Development for ArtWorks, and we are proud to say that we will share this not just with the Avondale and Cincinnati communities, but because this project is funded through an Our Town Creative Placemaking Grant through the National Endowments for the Arts. This story will be featured, will bring national attention to Avondale and to our partners. So we're especially grateful, not just to the National Endowment, but also to the SunTrust Bank Foundation and to Cincinnati Children's Hospital that have made it possible not just to make this project happen and create these jobs, but also to share Avondale's story on a national scale.
Thank you, Ebony and Daniel, for jumping in. It looks like Matt is ready to share with us.
Okay, here we go. I didn't realize I was still muted.
It's beautiful.
I figure if I keep talking, I'll be up front on my phone. So this piece is one that I collaborated with Candace on. These were flowers that were drawn by her separately that I used my digital means to put together and then transfer on here. And I'm going to switch this out for one that I was a collaboration with.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I absolutely love this little kid. Really cute little funny kid there. So the way that I transferred these drawings, I really wanted to take these are their drawings, it's their artwork, and they need to be credited on a plaque as artists on this project. Because I took their drawings and all I did was project them and trace the line work. So it is a true collaboration, but they are the visionaries behind these stories. And you've seen 2 of them. There are 9 in total, and I couldn't be more excited to get this up and installed.
Beautiful. Wow.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Matt. Does anyone have any questions? We have 5-10 minutes left. So if there are any questions that Candace or May or Matt can answer for you, now's the time.
So Matt and others here, what is Cal doing to kind of collaborate with or coordinate with what you're doing? I know she's doing the script on the fences and along the way too. So how's that working, and what kind of statements have we come up with? I know we've been working, I know Candace went out with Lene a few times to get neighborhood input. So just kind of curious to see where they're at with that as well. And by the way, that's so fantastic. I can't even get my head around it. I can't wait till it's up there.
Yeah, April, that's a great question. I can speak to that. I was actually on site over at Hirsch with Cal that was Monday of this week. Yeah, just a few days ago. And Matt and Cal are really collaborating on placement of their pieces so that the artwork feels spread out, but working together in a really nice way along the trail, and that there's not too much in one area or too little in another. And the CRC has also let us in on their plans for light posts and things like that that they plan to install along the trail. So it feels nice and even and safe throughout the whole trail. So it's not super dark in one corner and super bright in another. But Cal has gathered all of her statements from the community, and she has been working with a fabricator to create the neon in the handwriting of the community members. And that's just going to be really, really beautiful. So she's working on getting those fabricated, and she'll be installing in just a few weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One question I had asked earlier, was it any kind of way we can incorporate Miss Anita, who is a great person in Avondale and along everywhere? Can we incorporate that in anything? I had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, Miss Jennifer, I think that is a great question for Lene. So I will be happy to pass that on to Lene, and you and her can continue that conversation. Thanks for bringing that up again.
Thank you, love.
Yeah.
To one of the comments made earlier, there's an aspect of this that we're going to be finalizing tomorrow. Am I still sharing? There you go. And we've been working on written descriptions of each of the pieces of artwork. So when it comes time to share that out, however that may be, we'll be able to describe each piece of artwork with a short written kind of addition to it.
Any other questions? Or Candace and May, is there anything else you would like to share?
Nothing that I know. I mean, I've shared everything, so I'm good. I do want to say thank all of you guys for everything that you said, and thank you, Matt, for having me on this project. I am very blessed and grateful.
Thank you, May.
Thank you, May.
Russ Harrison, I just like to commend and thank all of the participants. Great work, very inspiring. Looking forward to continuing our partnership. And I urge all of the individuals that are the artists to like your work, speak up. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. All right, well, if there are no other questions, I just want to let everyone know to keep an eye out for these. We are hoping to have all the pieces from Matt and Cal installed by the end of September, so that's not that far away. So you'll see these start to pop up here pretty soon, and we'll be sure to document that and share that out with you. And if you have any questions that pop into your mind, or is there anything else you would like the apprentices to speak about, you can get in touch with Lene or myself, and we can connect you guys. So this doesn't have to be the end of the conversation, but we are so happy that you were here today. So thank you, everyone, for showing up and supporting our team and getting to know our apprentices a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you as well, Queen. Everybody, blessed day. Thank you, artists. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.